as me.
Well, I'll try.
Which one is Barkley?
Fellow with his back to the stove.
Thank you.
Cattle prices drop off any more like this, pretty soon we'll have to pay them to take our beef.
It'll get better. Before it gets worse.
Howdy. Is this chair occupied?
We're playing poker, mister.
I'd hope so.
For money.
It's the only way to play.
Is that you smelling like that?
Eau de cologne. Makes a good bracer.
I reckon it does. You're making my eyes water, mister.
Freeman. Josiah Freeman.
Oh, this is Carl Wheeler. Dan Kelsey. And
I know who you are, sir. I'd venture to say that so do most in Northern California.
Oh, really?
Cards? Oh, 3, please.
2.
Same.
My bet? I bet $2.
$2. And 3. Make 5.
Too rich for me.
I'll raise you 20. I'm light $20, shy 20.
Must be some hand you got there, Mr. Freeman.
I'm afraid so.
I'll just call your $20 raise.
Can you beat a pair of 8s?
That all?
I'm afraid so.
Full house.
You win. Well, I owe you $20.
You play poker often, Mr. Freeman?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
Still got a ranch, huh?
If you'll just countersign these both copies, Mr. Barkley, I'll be on my way.
How much is it?
Well, it's a note of transfer. Unfortunately, I'm out of currency, and I'm forced to sign over 20 head of prime JF stock to you.
Well, all right. But first thing tomorrow morning, you better deliver that 20 head of prime JF stock, or you're going to be known as the late Josiah Freeman.
Don't worry. You take... Nick Barkley?
Mm-hmm.
You're Jared Barkley.
No, Nick. Jared's my brother, you know?
Not as well as I thought. Are you anything like your brother?
Different as night and day. Now, Jared, he'd even try to reason with a fence post. But Nick here, he'd sooner bust it in 2.
He that is slow to anger is better than the mighty.
What's that?
Proverbs. Try to be more like your brother.
Isn't hanging straight.
Audrey, you look lovely.
Isn't that just a trifle formal for breakfast?
Carl's taking me to a dance tomorrow night. If he's in any condition to dance after you kept him out all last night playing poker.
That sounds like... That's what it sounds like.
morning. I just...
walking vermin off my land. Off.
They're yours.
Mine.
I'm paying my debt.
Not with those, you're not.
But you signed a note of transfer.
I
remember?
signed for cattle. Them are not cattle.
What are they doing here, Nick?
What do they look like?
Where'd they come from?
Well, how do I know where they come from?
I'm sorry, there's been a slight misunderstanding.
Look, I didn't know what I was signing for. You said JF stock. JF stock.
Well, they are JFs.
They are not stock. They're sheep. And they stink. No wonder you came into that saloon smelling like a flower patch in the middle of July.
Well, it's been pleasant visiting with you.
Here, give me that. Jared.
Here. What can I do for you, Nick?
This isn't legal, is it?
Is that your signature?
You know it's my signature.
Well, then I'm afraid it's legal.
But I don't want them.
You've got it.
If there's anything I can do...
I think the best thing you can do is just be on your way.
One thing I can't stand more than sheep, it's a sheep herder.
They'll grow on you.
So you're the only one he couldn't bluff out of that poker game. Is that right, Nick?
Well, the last time I played poker with a man that carries a purse.
Well, just what do you plan to do with these poor little critters?
Drive him to the slaughter. That's what I plan to do.
You know we're right in the middle of a little thing called a roundup.
Tomorrow morning, I'm going to take 2 men off of that little thing and put them on this little thing.
And until tomorrow?
I think they're hungry.
They're not eating on my range.
I hope to get them to slaughter before they starve to death.
Come on, give me a hand.
I got cattle to tend to.
Don't look at me. I have very urgent business to take care of.
I'd better fix my hem.
Shut up.
Did I just ride through a mirage, or are
You
those...
saw just what you thought you saw. And it's taken me all morning to round these mangy things up.
What are you doing, Nick? Branching out?
Come on, get out.
That perfumed character we played poker with last night paid me off in sheep.
Some people might not understand, Nick. They might say the Barkleys are hedging their bet. Cattle prices drop off, and the first thing they do is jump feet first into the sheep.
Oh, no, not a chance.
Well, I know that, Nick. Some people might point out that when you came to this valley, you were cattlemen. You went into mining, then vineyards, then sugar beets, and now,
No. The people that know me know I hate sheep just as much as they do.
then get rid of them.
Tomorrow morning, when the sun comes over that rise there, the minute the sun comes over that rise, those sheep are heading for the slaughterhouse.
Good. Because all they need is a foothold.
Who's they?
Sheep herders. You hang on to these sheep, and every sneaking sheep herder within walking distance will be swarming all over this valley. And you know what happens when sheep move into a place.
I know.
It's not fit for cattle or anything else. They chew the grass right down to the roots. The cattle starve, and so do the people who own them. You might say all of us have a stake in what you do.
How many ways do I have to say it? They're leaving tomorrow morning.
Just so you know. The longer they're around, the more people aren't going to believe you mean what you say. Well, too bad you'll have to miss the dance tomorrow night. But you can tell me how those sheep like the butcher's axe when you get back.
Thank you.
You're late, Heath.
There are 500 head of cattle scattered all over our range.
What happened?
Well, his sheep wandered down into the draw and spooked our herd.
They are not my sheep.
Well, whose ever sheep they are, they just cost us 3 days' work.
Well, I can't watch those useless animals day and night.
Well, then find somebody that can.
Nick,
Why?
from what I hear, a good sheepdog can handle a flock 10 times the size of yours.
Without so much as raising a sweat.
Which is more than we can say for you, Nick.
Well, now, you all tell me, in the middle of cattle country, where am I going to find a sheepdog?
Try the same fellow you got sheep from.
No!
Nick, do you want those sheep around here till the end of roundup? 10 or 12 more days?
He'd probably want me to play poker for the dog, and I'd wind up with his whole blasted herd of sheep.
All right, Nick, what's your alternative?
What's your more, please?
We're waiting, Nick.
I'll see him first thing in the morning.
Audra, how come we've never had stew like this before?
We've never had lamb before.
Freeman! Freeman? Freeman?
Well, hello there. Oh, no, don't be afraid. I'm looking for Mr. Freeman. Freeman. I'm Nick Barkley.
Darn.
Darn.
Oh, Mr. Barkley, what a pleasant surprise.
You win, Uncle Josiah. Here's the dime.
This is my niece, Gail.
I want to buy your dog.
Oh, sorry if you had come a little sooner. I had 2 dogs less than a month ago.
Well, I didn't have any sheep a month ago. I'll give you $20.
What would happen to my flock?
Well, I tried. That's about the best a man can
But
do.
I have a suggestion.
What?
Your sheep were part of mine just a day ago. My dog would have no trouble taking care of them.
You mean combine your flock with my sheep?
I need help. All I ask is a place to sleep and a reasonable amount of food for Gail and myself.
You want to bring your flock over to my range?
Well, you have better grass.
Well, now, wait.
And it would be much safer.
$50, that's my final offer.
Whiskey.
I didn't expect to see you so soon.
Why not?
Well, I figured you'd still be driving those sheep to slaughter.
I got thirsty. Whiskey, come on, come on.
Look, they'll break up my place. They'll put me out of business. I just can't serve a sheep man, not in this town.
Now, you call me that one more time, and I'll tear this place up.
Bah!
Hey, Kelsey, why don't you ask that sheep man to move downwind a little bit?
Sheep man, you're making my friend here sick.
Guess I'm lucky. I got a cold.
Now, when I get back here, I want to see a bottle and a glass waiting for me. All right? Now, are you the gentleman with the cold?
Well, it don't help much when you get this close.
Well, now, maybe I can fix that. Carl.
Oh, come on, fellas.
It's your turn, Carl.
No, not me, Nick.
Well, I guess it's mine.
this was going to happen?
You may pour my drink.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Barkley.
You're the cause of all this, huh? You.
How do you feel, Mr. Barkley?
Well, let you know as soon as I find out who's standing on my face.
We did the best we could.
Thank you.
Gail, run outside and empty the water.
She doesn't smile too much, does she?
Oh, she hasn't found too much to smile about.
Well, 5 will get you 10. My sister will have her giggling as soon as she walks through our front door.
What?
Well, that is, if your offer still holds, my range for your sheepdog.
After what those men did to you?
Well, now, that was a little misunderstanding, is all.
Can I come back yet?
Just as soon as your uncle says yes. Well?
Gail, we're going to stay with Mr. Barkley for a while.
Here's the dime, Uncle Josiah.
Say, is this a private game or can anyone get in?
I think we better start packing. Would you help me with the trunk?
All right, sure.
Fix up your things. Get them together, Gail. Right over here, mister.
Keep making it. Yeah. Is that your peddler's wagon outside?
Part of my checkered past.
How'd you ever find time for the sheep business?
Well, I'm a peddler by trade, a sheep herder by misfortune.
Oh, someone paid you off with them, huh?
Well, the misfortune belonged to Gail's parents. They were under the mistaken belief that open range meant just that. So they settled here with their sheep.
Well, this is cattle country, you know.
Took the cattlemen some months to convince them of that. Mr. Barkley, the day that I stopped here with my wagon to get some water, that barn was burning. Gail's parents, her mother and father, most of the sheep were dead. I heard her crying.
Mama made me hide in the cellar when they came.
Don't forget your doll. The whole thing was so cruel, so senseless.
But you stayed.
Of course I stayed. She had no relatives. I was tired of wearing out the seat of my trousers selling pots and pans. I love her, Mr. Barkley. I love her like she was my own. And in a way, she is. Now.
Well, now. You better get going. I want to get into town before dark.
Why are we going to town?
Because we're going to drive our sheep right through the middle of it.
Nick, did you have to drive those sheep right down the middle of the street?
Yes?
Why?
It's against the law to drive them down the sidewalk.
Now, Nick, I want you to listen to me.
I wanted everybody to know.
That you're in the sheep business.
Ah, now you've got it.
All right, Nick, you've got pride. Now, that's just fine. But you're about to take on this entire valley. Do you think you're big enough?
Might be interesting to find out.
Nick, you've seen a range war before. They start just about like this. One fella does one fool thing, like driving sheep into cattle country, and another fella does something a little more foolish, like shooting him. And before you know it, you've got a full-size range war on your hands.
That a fact.
That's a war nobody wins, Nick. Everybody loses. Not only men, women, and children, but entire herds, and it never ends.
Those sheep are on our land, Jared, our land. And none of them Jaspers in town are going to tell me what I can or can't do. Those sheep aren't spooking anybody else's cattle. And they're not chewing up anybody else's range. And there's no reason for anybody's feelings to be hurt.
Did that argument convince Carl Wheeler, or did you have to sell him some other way?
What Carl Wheeler thinks doesn't matter.
I'm afraid it does, Nick. Because the entire valley is behind him.
All right. All right, I'll talk to Carl Wheeler. As soon as he brings Audra home tonight. Maybe I can talk some sense into him. All right?
Mrs. Barkley,
Yes, Mr. Freeman.
I was just on my way to the herd, and
Oh, wouldn't you like a glass of sherry?
Thank you very much. Gail isn't getting in the way, is she?
Oh, no. She's upstairs helping Audra get dressed.
I appreciate you taking her into the house. Since her parents died, I'm the only one she's had. I know I'm not the ideal person to talk to her about dresses and things that girls want to talk about.
I think you've done very well.
Mrs. Barkley, may I ask you a question?
Yes.
That fight that Mr. Barkley had, those men were his friends, weren't they?
Yes.
Well, why would his friends want to attack him? He's one of them.
Not anymore.
Was it because of the sheep?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when I first chose, I mean, when I first thought...
What did you think, Mr. Freeman?
The Barkleys are so big, so powerful, surely no one would dare attack them, even if they did bring a few sheep into the valley.
How long have you lived in the West?
10 years?
Well, that should have been time enough.
For what?
For you to learn that there's no one so big, so powerful, that he can change the hates and prejudices of a lifetime. At least not without a fight.
Your son is a very stubborn man.
Yes, very.
He won't give way.
When Nick is pushed, he pushes back with everything he has.
No matter what the cost?
Well, sometimes it costs more to walk away from a fight than to finish it.
But he cares nothing for those animals.
He's a cattleman, Mr. Freeman. But he's also a man. Now, what do you suppose would happen if tomorrow people decided that we shouldn't mine gold or grow beef?
Do you think his friends would understand that?
No, I don't. I think we all crossed the line today. And none of us can turn back.
That was fun, Carl.
Even after I tromped all over your feet?
With a little practice, you could be a very good dancer.
Well, now, if I had somebody as pretty as you to practice with, I wouldn't mind learning.
Carl.
Hmm?
That fight with Nick.
That wasn't me.
No, but you could have stopped it.
It would have taken a stack of dynamite to pry them apart, and I didn't have any with me.
Still,
Love me?
I haven't decided yet.
But what about Nick?
What?
Do you love him?
That's a silly question.
Audra, I wouldn't have asked it if I thought that. If you love him, then you can help him.
How?
Talk to him. Make him see that his friends are more important than trying to prove some point that ain't even worth proving.
You mean persuade him to give up his sheep?
He'd listen to you.
I doubt that.
It's worth a try.
No, it isn't. Nick's his own man. And I don't like being used. Especially by you.
Audra. As long as Nick has those sheep, there can't be any future for us.
Then I'll just have to take that loss.
Carl. Oh, now.
about to send a search party out for you.
I needed some air. Though it didn't do much good.
You usually come in when you bring Audra home.
Not tonight.
I've been wanting to talk to you.
There's nothing to talk about, Nate.
You're just going to pretend those sheep aren't there, huh?
Look, the rest of us had a meeting today. We came up with a solution to your problem.
Is that a fact?
Just so everybody knows which side you're on, you slaughter those vermin right where they stand.
No.
I figured you'd say that. So we took it out of your hands.
We?
This is my valley, too, Nick. My family sweated and bled for it just like yours. And I'm not going to stand by and see it trampled to death by those sheep. Friend or no friend.
You touch just one of them sheep, Carl, and you're going to find me on your doorstep.
I'm not going anywhere, Nick. And neither are you.
Murderer, huh? Yeah, he had know to make a man a liar.
Hey, Kelsey! Wheeler said anything short of killing.
Somebody's coming!
Josiah.
Feel better now, Uncle Josiah?
Yes.
Audrey's gonna buy me a new dress, but I don't know which one to pick. This one, or this one. Maybe even this one.
They're all very nice. Gail, do you ever think what it would be like to live with a real mother and father? You like it here, don't you?
Audrey's nice, and she smells pretty, too.
Well, you may have to stay here for a while. I've got something very, very important to do, and it might take a long time. And I have to do this without you.
Don't you want to be my uncle anymore?
I'll always be your uncle. I'll always pester you to brush your teeth and clean your plate. Because I love you. No. You be a good girl, and you stay here with the Barkleys till I get back.
You're never coming back.
Of course I am, I promise.
No, you're not. That's just what you were saying.
I was just talking. No, you go inside.
I love you, Uncle Josiah.
Josiah? What's the matter?
I did this. I'm to blame.
What are you talking about?
You didn't win those sheep in that poker game. I lost them.
Full house still beats a pair of eights.
Yeah, but I had 4 eights. That's why I didn't show my hand when you called it. I won that pot.
Well, I don't get that.
It was part of my whole plan. A plan born out of desperation, but no less a trick. I read about Jared Barkley defending a sheep herder in Fresno County, and that's when I got the idea. I figured if I could get your brother Jared into the sheep business, I'd have a partner no one could intimidate.
So you got stuck with me.
Proved a good choice, Mr. Barkley. Too good. Even getting you to protect Gail and my herd, that even worked. I was so clever, so smart. I brought all this on you.
No, you didn't bring it on. I brought it on by keeping him, and Carl Wheeler brought it on by killing him.
If you're lucky, you'll kill him. If you're not lucky, he'll kill you. In one way or the other, somebody gets hurt.
Well, he dealt the hand.
You don't have to play the hand. You don't have to play it.
He won't let me keep him. He won't even let me move him.
Let me move them.
Oh, no,
Let me move them.
No, that's exactly what they're waiting for. Besides, you wouldn't last 5 minutes on that trail.
They're my sheep, and I want...
Not the ones I won. Now, you go on back to the house. I know how to handle these people.
You're not going to drive those sheep by yourself.
I can and I will. Furthermore, if I ever find you on my range again, I just might have you arrested for trespassing.
God forgive me. And you too, Mr. Barkley.
Looks like Josiah had a better argument than we did.
Come on up, Nick. Come on. Here, take a swig of this. Feel better?
Oh, yeah. Where is Josiah?
I don't know, but the sheep are gone.
I finally met a man as stubborn and as stupid as I am.
Here, come on. Hey, wait a minute. Where do you think you're going?
I know. The law should take care of this. Well, maybe the law can take care of Josiah's burying.
Now, listen, you keep talking like that, and we won't even offer to come with you.
One fool's enough in any family. Come on, get.
We gonna listen to him?
Does he listen to us?
Let's go.
That's far enough, Freeman. Where's your sheep-loving friend? I'm going through. All we want are those sheep. You get in the way, we'll take you too.
All right, let's get it done.
Hated sheep.
Still do. But you were right. They grow on you.
I didn't want this, Nick. Then back off.
Odds like this can kill you, Carl. Throw him down, boys.
This one's yours, Jerry. Tomorrow will be yours.
We'd only be fighting ourselves, Carl, tearing down everything we built.
Tell it to your brother.
He already knows it. Now, what's it going to take to convince you?
Not that you'd care anymore, but cattle prices will be climbing again. Pretty soon you won't be able to see the grass for the beeves on this trip.
Carl!
Then where will your sheep be?
Carl, the people in this valley have been living in their cocoon too long. We've all grown rich and fat and smug, thinking our way was the only way. Well, now that cocoon's been ripped open, whether we like it or not. We've got millions of acres here. Room enough for both cattle and sheep.
See you, Nick.
Carl?
Yeah.
Well, are you just gonna stand there? Or are you gonna help me round up them walking vermin?
Thanks very much for helping us pack.
Well, now, just because you sold off your sheep's no reason you have to leave so soon, you know?
Well, we've taken advantage of you long enough. Mr. Barkley, you're a very fine man, and I'm very pleased to have known you.
Well, now, you're not so bad yourself for a sheep herder.
Bye, Mr. Barkley.
Goodbye, dear.
If we met that wise man, we could tell him a thing or two about living underwater, couldn't we?
Well, I think it was worth it.
Somehow it always is.
Sunrise out of the gray. Run, run, gotta get out, gotta find my route. The city's a trap, but that there's no doubt. Run, run till the end, till I shout. I'm free at last, what life's all about. Lungs burning, sweat drips like tears. Each step forward, outstripping my fears. Skyscrapers illuminating in till I shout. I'm free at last, what life's all about. Lungs burning, sweat drips like tears. Each step forward, outstripping my fears. Skyscrapers, pouring.
Brandy, Jared. Oh, I don't think so, Jim. After a dinner like that, the best brandy in the world would be an anticlimax.
Well, that's what I don't understand.
What's that?
Well, you two went to the same law school together, but Jim never pays me compliments like that.
Oh?
Well, I must plead mitigating circumstances, my love. After all, I am your husband.
A very poor defense, Mr. Scanlon. I suggest you get yourself a good lawyer. You will have some coffee, won't you, Jared?
Yes, please. Well, well, what's all this? Little homework?
The Cunningham case.
Oh, yes. Well, I'd say from the looks of this, you finally got something on him.
I have. Receipts, affidavits, depositions. I can prove his men dynamited the Collier Dam. Everything there points to the fact that his motive was to buy up the flooded farms cheap.
That sounds a little like an opening address to a jury.
It might be. And this time, there's going to be no tampering with the jury, no bribery of witnesses, no falsifying evidence. This time, Mr. Joshua T. Cunningham is going to find out that he is not above the law. He is going to prison, Jared.
You go after him like that in court, and I'll bet on you. But you know, Jim, I'm curious about one thing.
What's that, Jared?
Well, Cunningham and his lawyer are no fools. They know you're the best prosecuting attorney in California. I'm surprised they haven't moved for a change of venue.
They did. Judge Farnham denied the motion. It's beginning to dawn on Mr. Cunningham that the days of the freebooters in this state are over.
I hope you're right.
Would you excuse me?
Thank you.
That's all right, Silas. I'll get it.
Thank you, Miss Ivy.
Hello, Mr. Gaines. Come in.
Hello, Audrey. Is Jared home?
Yes, he's in the library.
Hello, Howard. How are you? As well as could be expected after what happened to Jim Scanlon the other night.
Yes. Jim was gifted and honest. Two things Cunningham couldn't cope with. Except with a shotgun.
How is Mrs. Scanlon?
Well, she went up to Sacramento to stay with her sister.
Mother went with her, so she wouldn't have to travel alone.
Well, Howard, sit down.
We're about to have lunch. Will you join us?
No. Thank you, Audrey. Well, to get to the point of my visit. As you know, it's my job as chairman of the County Board of Supervisors to appoint an acting district attorney to replace Jim Scanlon until an election can be called.
That shouldn't be difficult.
Well, under ordinary circumstances, I'd appoint Mark Bromley. He was Scanlon's assistant for 2 years. He's acquainted with the work of the office. But
what?
Bromley's young, inexperienced. He's never prosecuted a case on his own. Cunningham's lawyer would tear him to pieces and feed him to the jury, one bite at a time. I guess you know why I'm here.
I think you underestimate Mark.
He's young, smart, and clever.
He has the advantage of having helped Jim prepare the Cunningham case. He knows it inside and out.
And he also knows Cunningham, and he's scared.
Well, then there must be other lawyers.
None as qualified as you are, Jared. Once you served as assistant district attorney.
Yes, and I was about the same age that Mark is now, and just as scared. Believe me, he'll get over it.
Jared,
No, Audra.
how can you say no? Jim was your best friend.
And that's exactly why I won't prosecute Cunningham.
I don't understand.
If Cunningham's lawyer is as smart as I think he is, he's going to try and convince that jury that I'm not prosecuting his client because he blew up Collier Dam, but because I'm trying to avenge the death of a friend. He'll pose Cunningham as the victim of some kind of personal vendetta and probably get away with it.
I don't think that's valid, Jared.
Neither do I. The jury will judge the facts.
Maybe, and maybe not. I don't intend to take the gamble.
All right, Jared. All I could do was try. Audra?
Jared, who else?
I've made my decision, Audra.
All right. I just hope you don't regret it.
Come in, Jared. I hope you don't mind if we made ourselves at home. Mason had a key that happened to fit the lock. Sit down, Jared.
What do you want?
Well, I've got a problem, Jared. The state land office is starting hearings next week in Sacramento on a new open range policy. Now, I'm interested in getting my views before the board. As you know, I'm stuck here in Stockton because of this stupid dynamiting charge the state has against me. It occurred to me that I could hire you to represent me in Sacramento. Hearings will last 4, maybe 5 weeks. Make it worth your while.
Get out of here, Cunningham.
1,000 a week and expenses. How's that sound?
Get out.
Too busy to take the job.
I'm always busy. You'll get a bill for that.
That's enough, Carell. There's talk around town you may be appointed acting district attorney.
Is there?
I heard Howard Gaines was out to your place yesterday. I asked you to take the job.
Remarkable how you keep your ear to the ground.
I assume you accepted.
You know, you could have saved yourself this masterful attempt to buy me off.
What?
I turned Gaines down.
I think you made a very wise decision, John. Whatever you may think of my offer to represent me before the land office, it still stands. It's yours if you change your mind.
I think I just did.
What?
Changed my mind.
What?
You're much too anxious to have an inexperienced assistant like Mark Bromley prosecute your case. So I'm going to be in that courtroom when your trial opens. And I'm not going to let up on you until I put a rope around that rotten throat of yours for the murder of Jim Scanlon. Now, for the last time, get out.
Well, now, I'll be looking for that bill from you, Barkley. You'll get paid.
Sure don't make knives like they used to.
I hadn't noticed.
It's a fact. It is a fact.
Well, now, that's fascinating information. Nick, do you mind?
Oh, I just think. Oh, it chips all over the place here. Yeah, that's better. Oh, sure don't make knives like they used to.
They also don't make desks like they used to. Look, Nick, why don't you go get something to eat?
I'm not hungry.
What do you mean you're not hungry? You're always hungry.
All right.
I'll get it.
Who is it?
Mark Bromley.
Here, Mark.
Hi, Nick. Evening, Jared.
Hello, Mark. Glad you could make it.
Here's the last of Mr. Scanlon's file on the Cunningham case.
Thanks.
If there's anything more I can do, don't hesitate to let me know.
Mark. I kind of feel I should apologize for taking this case.
Apologize? Why?
Well, it would have been quite a chance for you to make a name for yourself.
It's a great chance for me to fall flat on my face, too. The important thing is to get Joshua Cunningham, Jared. Maybe I could have. Maybe he isn't good enough. I know you can.
Thanks, Mark.
Good night.
Here, Mark.
Good night.
Howdy.
Oh, now, this is too much.
What'd I say?
Look, one well-intentioned brother is enough, but two is impossible. Now, look, why don't you get out of here and go get something to eat so I can get some work done? Out.
No, now, wait a minute.
Just go get yourself a beer, anything. Only leave me alone so I can work.
One condition.
What's that?
You don't budge from this office.
I promise.
Beer?
Beer.
Beer.
All right, let's go.
Jared! Jared, you all right?
I can't see, Nick.
What do you mean? Jared!
I can't see.
Now I'm going to expose your eyes to different degrees of light. Tell me if you see anything at all. Anything?
Nothing.
Keep trying. Anything?
I can feel the heat, but that's all.
I'll be back in just a moment.
Nothing? Is it permanent?
I can't tell.
Well, what do you mean you can't tell? You just examined him, didn't you?
Go on, Doctor.
The two major causes for sudden blindness are damage to the optic nerve or an hysterical blindness brought on by an emotional shock.
Which is it with Jared?
I can't be sure yet. But if damage has been done to the optic nerve, then blindness is permanent.
And if it's shock?
Then there's a chance he can recover. When or how soon, I don't know. We can only wait. But in the meantime...
In the meantime, he's blind. Doctor, what can we do?
I don't know. I only know what you shouldn't do. Don't pity him or cry over him. Don't lead him around like a crippled puppy. Adjustment to this is going to be hard enough for him under the best of circumstances. But if you cripple him with your concern, then you'll make it impossible for him. That goes for all of you.
We understand, Doctor.
I was looking for some water. I tripped.
Well, I'm going to see Mr. Cunningham right now.
I'll go with you.
Barkley's brother.
Cunningham,
Hello,
for 2
Rick.
cents, I'd give you a beating that'd make you wish you weren't born.
My credit's good. Help yourself.
Just stand quiet.
Hold it!
Sorry, Sheriff. It's all just a little mistake.
Yeah, yours. What now, Cunningham?
Came looking for trouble, madam. And they found it.
Cunningham, you just best go to prison, because I'm going to get to you.
Watch it, Nick.
I know what I'm saying, and I mean every word of it, and you know it.
All right.
You're doing fine, Mr. Barkley. Just fine.
Thank you, Silas.
Silas, would you please get me some eggs from the hen house? I'd like them now.
Yes, ma'am.
Morning, Mother.
Good morning, Jared.
Well, it seems I'm on my own.
You've lived in this house all your life. You know it by heart.
No more pampering, huh?
Isn't that the way you want it?
All right. Here we go. How was that?
Very good.
That was wonderful.
Audra? Well, I'm in the foyer, so there should be a little table right over here. Right about here. Right here. The living room is right over there. The archway is right up there, so it should be about 1, 2, 3. 4 steps.
Don't stop now.
All right, let's try the living room. There should be some chairs right over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It was fine.
The drapes are open.
How could you tell?
I can feel the warmth of the sun.
Jared, Nick took the crystal off your watch. You can tell the time by touching the hand.
Remind me to thank him.
I'll fix you some breakfast.
10 after 9, right?
That's right.
What day is it? I mean, how long has it been since?
3 days.
10 after 9, day, night, they're just words now. It's like living on the dark side of the moon. You can run along now, Audra. I'll be all right. Who's that? Mother? Audra?
It's Sharon.
Sharon?
Jared?
Sharon, what are you doing back here?
I came back as soon as I heard about what happened.
Yes, well, I was hoping maybe you wouldn't hear. Seems to me you've already had enough.
I'm all right now, thank you, Jared. I brought you dinner.
Yes, I know. Ham, isn't it? Baked.
Show off. There, now you eat and I'll talk.
Sharon, I wonder if you'd mind not staying.
Oh?
Well, you see, what I euphemistically refer to as my awkward situation is, well, it's particularly acute at mealtime.
Jared, I understand.
Do you? No, I don't think you really do. Maybe a little demonstration. Now, the meat, now that's not particularly a problem, but the vegetables, oh, those vegetables. Now that is the real challenge. Now, let's see. Perhaps now you can understand why I prefer to eat alone. I can afford myself the luxury of using my fingers.
We'll talk later then.
Yes.
Jared.
Yes, I asked Sharon to leave.
Well, she was only trying to help. You can't go on like this. Well,
Jared. Do you know an attorney by the name of Marvin Sanders?
Yeah, he's Cunningham's lawyer.
Well, he and Cunningham just had a powwow in Sanders' suite at Stockton House.
Well, what of it?
You know who else was there?
Now, how would I...
Mark Bromley. Now, if Bromley's going to prosecute, what was he doing meeting with Cunningham and his attorney?
That could be an explanation.
Mm-hmm, including the fact that Bromley sold out. Cunningham either scared him off or paid him off, or a little bit of both.
You can't be sure of that.
Well, then what was Bromley doing sneaking out the back door of that hotel?
He did what?
I saw him.
The meeting still could have been innocent enough.
Perhaps so. But can you take that chance?
What do you mean, me?
You're still acting district attorney of this county.
Well, a simple letter of resignation will take care of that if someone will be kind enough to write it for me.
It's too late for that. If Mark Bromley has sold out, the rest is up to you.
I can't go into that courtroom. I can't do it.
Yes, you can. Now listen to me, Jared. Nothing has been decided. Perhaps one day you will see again. But if and when that day comes, it won't mean a thing if you can't stand the sight of yourself.
Do it. Having been sworn, we will proceed with opening statements. Are you ready for the state, Mr. Bromley?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sanders?
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
You may proceed, Mr. Bromley.
What's he doing here?
Your Honor, I apologize for this interruption.
That's quite all right, Mr. Barkley.
As acting district attorney, I assigned Mr. Bromley to this case. However, I've changed my mind. It's my intention to prosecute the case myself.
Very well, Mr. Barkley, if you're prepared to proceed immediately.
I am, Your Honor.
Mr. Bromley, you may need those.
Scared? Yeah, I'm scared.
Well, there's no need to be. We'll be right here in case you need it. Look at the jury. They're already beginning to sympathize with Barkley.
do something. You try.
Your Honor, this sudden change in prosecutors comes as a complete surprise to the defense. Had I known Mr. Barkley was going to be my adversary, I might have planned my case with more of an eye to...
An eye to what, Mr. Sanders?
It's a delicate matter, Your Honor, and I'm loath to bring it up, but in fairness to my client, I feel I must. I'm referring to Mr. Barkley's blindness and the fact that the sympathy and compassion that we all have for him will exert an undue influence on the jury in arriving at a verdict.
Your Honor. One moment, Mr. Barkley. What are you proposing, Mr. Sanders?
Well, in justice to my client, Your Honor, I respectfully request that Mr. Barkley withdraw from the case.
Mr. Barkley?
I have no intentions of withdrawing, Your Honor.
Well, in that case, Your Honor, I suggest that the defendant cannot receive a fair and impartial hearing in this court.
Mr. Sanders?
If he could, he would be acquitted, and Mr. Barkley knows that. And that's the reason for his sudden and dramatic takeover of this case. He's come here not to prosecute the defendant, but to persecute him. He says to the jury, forget the evidence. Convict Joshua Cunningham because you pity me.
No!
Yes, Mr. Barkley. You've come here to wave your affliction and helplessness around in the face of the jury like a flag.
You shut up. Order. Now, I warn you, Mr. Barkley, I will tolerate no such outbursts in my court. Sit down, sir.
Nick.
Your Honor, I move for a mistrial.
Motion denied. When you're ready, Mr. Barkley.
Gentlemen, I'll be brief. It's the state's contention in this case that on June 24th last, Collier Dam was dynamited. Dynamite planted at the instigation of the defendant. Now, the state will offer conclusive evidence of this. We will further introduce evidence that will show that the motive of the defendant was simply to... I'm all right, Nick. I'm all right. Let me alone.
Are you all right, Mr. Barkley?
Yes, I'm fine. Now, gentlemen, as I was saying, the state will offer conclusive evidence that the... Get me out of here. Get me out.
Court will recess until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning.
How about a drink?
No, thank you. Tearing a blind man apart isn't something I care to celebrate.
Here you go, right here. Right here.
Well, I think somebody better tell Bromley the job is all his.
You don't mean that. Jared, what did you expect when you walked into that courtroom? Didn't you know Cunningham's lawyer would tear into you?
Yes. Yes, but I hoped I'd be able to take it.
You can.
Will you stop it? Will you stop trying to tell me how brave I am? I was lost out there. A lawyer has to be able to see. He has to look into a witness's eyes and know whether he's telling the truth or not. He has to know what effect he's having on the judge, the jury. He can't plead his case to the wall. Take me home.
Jared, I'm not going to insult you by saying I know how you feel. I don't know. No one does. But one thing I'm sure of, and it frightens me just as much as that courtroom frightened you, that if you don't do this, you'll never do anything. You'll just sit in darkness for the rest of your life being afraid, always afraid.
I need more time.
I don't believe that. Time is your enemy, not your friend. Time will only ask for more time. Shall we go?
unscrupulous out there.
You don't have to, Jared.
What are you going to do? Whittle me a pair of eyes?
You can hear, can't you?
And you still have a memory. And you're going to learn that courtroom. You're going to get to know every inch of it, every stick of furniture and every crack in that floor.
By tomorrow morning, you're going to feel as much as home in that courtroom as if you built it yourself.
1, 2, 3. Your Honor? One, 2, 3. Now, how was that?
Good.
Tired?
Tired. That's too bad. We're just getting started.
Now, Nick, you just said
I said it was good. I didn't say it was perfect. That's what it's got to be tomorrow morning when you walk into this courtroom.
It's important, Jared.
Yeah. One, 2, 3. One, 2, 3, 4. And so, gentlemen of the jury, on the basis of the evidence and the evidence alone, the state is confident that you will find Joshua T. Cunningham guilty. Your Honor, I call Simon Templeton. And as proprietor of the Dry Forks General Store, did you, on the afternoon of June 21st, sell an unusually large amount of dynamite?
I did.
Thank you, Mr. Barkley. I now hand you this receipt and ask if you recognize it.
I do. It's a receipt for the dynamite I sold.
And to whom is that receipt made out?
Joshua T. Cunningham.
Your Honor, the state offers this receipt in evidence. Well? I wonder if I might trouble you gentlemen for a glass of water. Thank you. On June 21st, you were in Daleburg, more than 100 miles from Collier Dam.
How many more times I gotta answer that?
Once more, Mr. Carell.
Yes!
Come now, Mr. Carell, even I can see that you're lying.
Objection. Sustained. Mr. Barkley, you know better than to make a remark like that.
My apologies, Your Honor. You're excused, Mr. Carell. Call Amy Carter.
That's right. I own the big nugget on the Dry Forks Road, about 2 miles above Collier Dam.
And on the evening of the 21st, did several men come in for a drink?
Yeah.
Did you know them?
No.
Could you recognize them if you saw them again?
Sure.
Miss Carter, are any of those men in this courtroom now?
3 of them. Him, and, him.
You gotta make a liar out of that Carter woman when you cross-examine her.
I'll do my best.
You giving up?
I'll play out the hand, Cunningham. But you might as well face it. Barkley has got you right by the throat.
What if something should happen, Tom? An accident, for instance.
I don't want to hear talk like that.
We'll bring Bromley back into the case, I'd still have a chance. Good night, Sanders.
Good night.
about some coffee?
Ah, that's what I need. When did Heath and Nick say they'd be back?
Oh, they'll be riding herd until morning.
I thought it was kind of quiet around here.
Mrs. Barkley. Mrs. Barkley.
Mrs. Barkley? Dr. Marat sent me.
Dr. Marat?
Your son Heath's been hurt in a fall from his horse. Nick took him to the doc in town. The doc thinks you better come.
Silas, get the buggy.
And Silas, I want you in order to go with her.
Yes, sir. I'll get back to town.
Now run along. I'll be all right. Run along. Come on, I know it's you. You're the only man in town that wears those fancy Mexican spurs. Isn't that Mason with you? I can smell that cheap pomade a mile away. And where you have Mason and Corral, you usually have Cunningham. Isn't that right?
That's right, Barkley.
So Heath wasn't hurt after all. Just a ruse to get me alone.
You thought you had the rope around my throat, Barkley.
You'll never get away with this.
That's possible. It's also possible that I can. If you're not in court on Monday morning, Bromley takes over.
Bromley can't help you now.
He can if he agrees to a mistrial. And I think he can be persuaded that such a motion is in order. Stand up.
He said get up.
Don't fight it, Barkley.
All right, Cunningham. What are you going to do with me?
You're going to have an accident. There's an open well out back. You went out to get some fresh air. You got confused, stumbled, fell into the well, and drowned.
Take a look outside.
All clear. Bring him along.
All right, Barkley. Let's go.
Corral! Corral?
6.
Let's try a window. Get some light in here. Well? Where is he? Where is he? I don't know. He busted the lamp. You look upstairs, I'll check the kitchen. Looks like he busted them all. In there, come on. Barkley! You two have your guns out? Drop them. You better tell them to drop them. Do as he says. One at a time so I can hear him fall.
I can take him.
Come on, try it. We'll see which one gets it first. Me or your friend here.
No, Corell.
Let me hear it fall, Corell. I'll kick him over here where I can feel him. All right. Now you two get out of here. You get on your horses and let me hear you ride just as fast as you can.
Do as he says.
Gonna get up, Cunningham. Nice and easy. All right, there's a chair over there. Walk to it, nice and easy. You're gonna sit in that with this gun in your head until somebody comes to take you off my hands.
imagine it's been a pretty long 3 weeks for you, Jared.
The longest of my life, Doctor.
Now, let's get on with the work. Try these first 3 lines. Are those letters still blurred for you?
Huh? Oh, M-T-E-L-E-H.
Fine. Now go on with the next one.
F-D-P-L-T-C-E-O.
Pretty good, even though you did get a little ahead of it.
But, Doctor, that's not...
Not the second line, no. It's even better.
F-D-P... Oh, Jared.
Oh, Jared. Oh.
There's no doubt about it, Jared. You're as good as new. You're very fortunate that there wasn't any damage to the optic nerve.
Thank you, Doctor. Thanks for everything.
Well, we got some fences to mend.
Yeah, we're very glad for you, Jared. Right now, we got to get to work.
Hold it a minute, Nick. What? Could you boys use a little help?
Well,
Well, how do we sure could?
Well, I'm your man.
You're not serious with those lily white hands of yours.
Well, I don't think I'd look any sillier digging a post hole than you must have looked in that courtroom.